So guys, as you saw in the previous part, everyone constantly bullied Asta because he was born without any magic. But despite that, his dream has always been to become the Wizard King, the strongest mage in the entire Clover Kingdom. Everyone kept telling him that it was impossible. They said someone without magic could never become the Wizard King. But Asta never gave up. He trained harder than anyone else, refusing to let his dream die. And one day, all of that hard work finally paid off. Asta received his mysterious Five-Leaf Grimoire, a magical book that contained a powerful demon inside it. After that, Asta and his brother-like rival, Yuno, finally arrived in Kikatown, where the Magic Knight's entrance exam was about to take place. If they could pass this exam, they would officially become Magic Knights, the kingdom's elite magical soldiers. As they walked through Kikatown, Asta couldn't stop looking around. Everywhere he looked, he saw incredible magic. Then he noticed a gigantic castle standing in the distance. That was the home of the Wizard King himself. Asta immediately pointed at it and shouted, "Just watch, Yuno. One day, that castle will belong to me." Yuno calmly replied, "Don't get ahead of yourself. Time will decide which one of us becomes the Wizard King." Soon, Asta, Yuno, and hundreds of other candidates gathered for the entrance exam. As usual, Asta started yelling at the top of his lungs, "Hey everyone, I'm going to become the Wizard King one day." The crowd stared at him like he was crazy. Meanwhile, Yuno was so embarrassed that he acted like he didn't even know Asta. A few moments later, both of them reached the entrance gate. When Yuno showed his Four-Leaf Grimoire, everyone around him was completely shocked. A Four-Leaf Grimoire? Who is this guy? The guards immediately recognized how special it was and allowed him to enter without any trouble. Then it was Asta's turn. When he showed his grimoire, the guard couldn't even believe it was a real grimoire. After all, Asta's Five-Leaf Grimoire was so incredibly rare that almost nobody in the kingdom even knew something like it existed. But after Asta keeps requesting again and again, the guard finally lets him inside. Right behind Asta, another boy chuckles and says, "This guy's actually kind of funny." Now, all the candidates are standing inside the entrance hall. And here's something interesting about this world. The lower your magic power is, the more magic birds gather around you. But when everyone looks at Yuno, not even one magic bird flies near him. And that instantly shocks everyone. They're thinking, who is this guy? He has a Four-Leaf Grimoire, and his magic is so overwhelming that even the magic birds won't go near him. And before Yuno can even react, a couple of girls are already surrounding him. Meanwhile, poor Asta is getting chased by an entire flock of magic birds. Everyone starts laughing. Bro, who even is this guy? Why are half the birds in the kingdom following him? Trying to escape the birds, Asta runs around in panic, but suddenly, bam, he crashes straight into a huge man. This guy is absolutely massive. Asta thinks he's just another applicant taking the entrance exam, so he smiles and says, "Sorry, buddy, you okay?" The next second, the giant grabs Asta by the head with one hand, lifts him into the air, and looks at him with a terrifying expression. Do you even know who you're talking to? It turns out, this isn't another student at all. This is Yami, the captain of the Black Bulls, one of the Magic Knight squad. The Black Bulls are infamous throughout the kingdom for being the most chaotic and troublesome squad. So before the exam even begins, Asta somehow manages to pick a fight with a Magic Knight captain. Yami is just about to crush Asta's head, but right then, two members of the Black Bulls arrive. One is Finral, a total flirt who never misses a chance to impress girls, and the other is Gordon, a quiet, mysterious guy who barely speaks but has a genuinely kind heart. Finral quickly says, "Captain, what are you doing here? The entrance exam is about to start. We need to go." Yami scratches his head and casually says, "Nothing. I just got lost trying to find my way upstairs." Classic Yami. Right after that, the entrance exam officially begins, and Yami lets Asta go before walking away. As Asta gets back on his feet, the same boy from earlier walks over to him again. His name is Sek. This time, he introduces himself and acts friendly, quickly becoming Asta's first friend at the exam. Just then, all 9 Magic Knight squad captains make their entrance. The atmosphere instantly changes. These are the strongest Magic Knights in the entire kingdom. In fact, it's said that only one person is stronger than all of them, the Wizard King himself. Among the captains stands William, the captain of the Golden Dawn. Golden Dawn is known as the #1 Magic Knight squad, and almost every candidate dreams of joining it. On the other hand, Yami's squad, the Black Bulls, has the worst reputation in the kingdom. They're famous for causing causing trouble everywhere they go. So, naturally, nobody wants to join them. Asta looks around and asks Sek, "Wait, where's the Wizard King?" Sek laughs and replies, "The Wizard King isn't going to show up for a small event like this. He's the ruler of the kingdom. He's got way more important things to do." Then, William steps forward and calmly says, "It's time for your entrance exam to begin." He raises his hand, uses his magic, and suddenly, a gigantic magical tree grows from the ground, covering the entire arena. Moments later, every candidate receives a magic broom. William explains, "Your first test is simple. Use your magic and fly." One by one, everyone starts lifting off the ground. Meanwhile, all 9 captains carefully watch every single candidate. Yuno flies higher than almost everyone else. His control is nearly flawless, and just like that, he immediately catches the attention of every captain. But then there's Asta. Forget flying. The poor guy can't even get the broom off the ground. He's hopping around, struggling just to stay balanced. Honestly, it's both painful and kind of hilarious to watch. At that moment, one of the captains lands beside a silver-haired girl. Instead of encouraging her, he starts scolding her. It turns out she's his younger sister. He coldly says, "Why did you even come here? Don't disgrace the Silva family. You'll never pass this exam, so just go back home." Without waiting for an answer, he walks away. The girl's name is Noelle. Seeing Asta still struggling, Sek tries to cheer him up. "Keep trying. Asta, you can do it." But deep down, everyone already knows the truth. Asta has no magic at all. So not only does he fail this test, he struggles in every challenge that comes after it. After all the earlier tests are over, William steps forward once again and says, "Now it's time for the final exam. Choose one partner. You'll battle each other, and we'll evaluate your performance." The moment everyone hears that, Sek walks over to Asta and says, "Hey." Asta lets him up. Asta happily agrees without thinking twice. A few moments later, the two of them get into position. Asta smiles and says, "Good luck, Sek. Let's both give it our best, and no matter who wins, I hope this doesn't affect our friendship." But that's when Sek finally shows his true colors. He smirks and says, "Listen carefully. Loser, I was never your friend. I only acted nice because I already knew we'd get to choose our own opponent in the final test. I picked you because you're the weakest person here. If I beat someone like you, becoming a magic knight will be easy." After saying that, he walks away laughing. Asta just stands there, completely shocked. For a moment, he genuinely thought he had made his very first friend. Even the other candidates start whispering, "Wow, Sek actually played that pretty smart. He's going to beat Asta without breaking a sweat." Some of them even think, "Man, I wish Asta had picked me instead. That would have been the easiest win of the day." To everyone there, Asta is nothing more than a weak loser. Sek confidently steps into the arena, opens his grimoire, and prepares for the fight. Even the Magic Knight captains expect this battle to end in seconds, because none of them know who Asta really is. The match begins. Asta opens his Five-Leaf Grimoire, pulls out his massive sword, rushes forward, and with one single swing, he completely destroys Sek's attack and sends him flying. The entire arena goes silent. Wait, what just happened? This guy is actually strong. Even the captains are caught completely off guard. Meanwhile, Yuno is watching from a distance with a small smile on his face, because unlike everyone else, he always believed in Asta. Asta rests his sword on his shoulder and proudly declares, "Remember my name. I'm Asta, and one day I'll become the Wizard King." After that, several more matches take place. Finally, it's Yuno's turn, but there's one problem. Nobody wants to fight him. With a Four-Leaf Grimoire and incredible magic, everyone knows they'll probably lose. But then, Salim steps forward, the same guy who challenged Yuno before. He points at Yuno and says, "You got lucky last time, but this time you won't escape." The battle begins, and it's intense from the very start. Magic flies everywhere. But in the end, Yuno completely overwhelms Salim with his wind magic and wins the fight with ease. With that, the entrance exam finally comes to an end. Now comes the moment every candidate has been waiting for. The 9 Magic Knight captains must decide who deserves to join their squad. Now comes the moment everyone has been waiting for, the squad selection. Here's how it works. If more than one captain raises their hand for a candidate, that candidate gets to choose which squad they want to join. But if no captain raises their hand, that candidate fails the entrance exam. One by one, candidates step forward. Some get selected, while many others are rejected. Watching all of this, Asta starts getting more and more nervous. He's praying that at least one captain believes in him. Then, it's finally finally Yuno's turn, and the impossible happens for the very first time. All 9 Magic Knight captains raise their hands for the same person. The entire arena is stunned. Every captain wants Yuno on their squad. Now the choice is his. After a brief moment, Yuno makes his decision. He chooses the Golden Dawn, the strongest and most prestigious Magic Knight squad in the kingdom. Now, it's finally Asta's turn. He's terrified. In his heart, he's silently praying. Please, just one captain. That's all I'm asking for. The selection begins. 1 second passes, then another. But not a single captain raises their hand. Not one. Which means Asta has failed. His dream seems to shatter right in front of him. With his head lowered, he quietly turns around, ready to leave. But then, Yami suddenly stands up. He looks at Asta and says, "Kid, do you know why you failed? Because you're weak. You don't even have magic. So how could you possibly think you could become a Magic Knight?" The next moment, Yami releases his overwhelming magic power. The pressure is so intense, the ground around him starts shaking. He jumps down into the arena, walks straight toward Asta, and says, "I heard you want to become the Wizard King. Then you should know what that really means. To become the Wizard King, you'll have to surpass me and the other 8 captains standing here." Yami stares directly into Asta's eyes, then asks with a grin, "So tell me, do you really think you can defeat all 9 of us?" Asta says, "I know I'm really weak and I don't even have any magic, but I don't care how weak I am. I don't care how strong all of you captains are. If I have to defeat every single one of you to become the Wizard King, then I'll defeat every one of you. And one day I will become the Wizard King." Hearing those words, Yami bursts out laughing. Then he looks at Asta and says, "Kid, I like you. I'll take you into my squad. And trust me, I'm going to make you work harder than anyone else so that one day you can become the Wizard King." And for the very first time in Asta's life, someone believes in his dream instead of laughing at it. Asta is overwhelmed with happiness and immediately thanks Yami. After that, the entrance exam finally comes to an end. But then, Asta suddenly has a stomach problem, so he rushes to the bathroom. However, that's exactly when Sek shows up. He still wants revenge for losing to Asta. Without wasting any time, he summons his magical lizard and sends it straight at Asta. And if that lizard had bitten him, Asta could have actually died. But at the last second, Yuno arrives and saves Asta. Then he stares at Sek and says, "Don't ever think you're on Asta's level or even close to him. Asta is my rival, and he's the one who stands on my level. Now get out of here." Hearing that, Sek gets completely terrified and runs away without saying another word. After that, Asta and Yuno both leave to follow their own path. And for the first time in their life, they won't be living together anymore. Meanwhile, Yami gets annoyed at Asta because he spent way too much time in the bathroom. After that, Finral uses his magic to open a portal. Asta, Yami, and Finral step through it and arrive at the Black Bull's base, the place where Asta will be living from now on. Asta happily walks toward his new home and opens the front gate with a huge smile. But that happiness doesn't last very long, because the moment he opens the gate, boom, a massive explosion goes off at the entrance, and Asta gets blasted away like a rocket, flying into the distance. Yami casually says, "Welcome to the Black Bulls." At the same time, Yuno is meeting one of his seniors, whose name is Klaus. Klaus looks at Yuno and says, "I still can't believe Captain William accepted a poor kid like you. Someone who doesn't even belong to a royal family. Into the Golden Dawn. Don't even think you'll have an easy life here." After saying that, he walks away. Meanwhile, Asta finally meets his new teammate, and within moments, he realizes that every single member of the Black Bulls is completely out of their mind. Yami looks at everyone and starts shouting, "Stop destroying everything, you guys." But the funniest part is, right after saying that, Yami himself destroys the wall behind him. Everyone gets extremely happy seeing Yami. Then Yami introduces Asta to the entire squad. Asta steps forward and says, "My name is Asta and I came from Hage Village." Hearing this, everyone gets shocked. They can't believe that Asta came from such a small village, that he is so poor, and yet somehow he managed to pass the Magic Knight entrance exam. After that, Finral starts introducing Asta to the other members. First, he introduces a girl named Vanessa. She is basically a huge drinker. Vanessa walks up to Asta and asks, "So, your name is Asta. Do you need a girlfriend?" Hearing this, Asta gets extremely embarrassed, but he quickly refuses, because his heart already belongs to Sister Lily. Then again, maybe Vanessa had a little too much to drink, because right in front of Asta. She suddenly throws up. After that, Finral introduces Asta to Luck, a guy who absolutely loves fighting. And then Luck asks Asta, "Tell me, do you want to fight me?" But before Asta can even answer, another guy suddenly comes in front of him and says, "Hey, she is my sister, Marie. Stay away from her, or I'll beat you up." Asta looks at him in confusion and says, "Bro, I don't even know who this girl is." This guy's name is Gauche, and he loves his little sister more than anything. He is extremely protective of her. After that, Asta starts meeting the rest of the members of the Black Bulls. Yami looks at everyone and says, "Whoever wants to test him, do it quickly." Hearing this, Magna steps forward and says, "Fine, I'll test you and see whether you are worthy of joining the Black Bulls or not." Because Magna doesn't believe that someone like Asta, who is not even from a royal family and comes from a small village, deserves to become a magic knight. He then says, "If you pass my test, you will receive this magical rope, and you will finally become a magic knight." Then Magna asks, "So tell me, do you want this Black Bull's robe?" And Asta immediately replies, "Yes, I want it right now." After that, Magna starts Asta's test. First, he makes Asta do extremely difficult physical exercises, but Asta has been training his body since childhood, so he completes everything easily. Seeing this, Magna gets a little surprised. Then Magna says, "This is your final test. Now I'm going to attack you, and you have to survive my attack." After saying this, Magna starts attacking Asta with his magical fire-based balls. Asta easily dodges every single attack, which makes Magna a little frustrated. So Magna decides to use a much bigger and faster fireball against him. This attack is so huge and fast that Asta cannot dodge it. But suddenly, Asta takes out his grimoire and pulls out his giant sword. The moment everyone sees that sword, everyone is completely shocked because they can't believe, how is this guy even able to lift such a massive sword? And then Asta uses his sword like a baseball bat and sends Magna's attack right back toward him. Everyone is completely shocked. Yami becomes extremely impressed by Asta because Asta is not only able to cancel or destroy someone's magic with his sword, but he can also deflect magical attacks and send them back at the opponent. Now, everyone finally understands that Asta is not some useless guy. He is actually a very powerful fighter. Magna also walks toward Asta and praises him. He says, "Sorry, I judged you because you came from a small village. Actually, I'm from the village right next to yours." Hearing this, Asta gets completely shocked, and after that, everyone starts appreciating Asta. Even Charmy gives Asta her cake. Slowly, Asta starts becoming friends with everyone in the Black Bulls, but from above, a girl is secretly watching Asta, and for some reason, she looks extremely angry at him. Then finally, Asta receives his Black Bull's robe, which means Asta is officially a magic knight now. And from this moment, a new journey of Asta's life begins. Magna takes Asta to his new room and says, "Sorry, this is the only bad room we had left." But even after getting such a simple and messy room, Asta becomes extremely happy because for the first time in his life, he finally has a room of his own. Asta becomes so emotional that he starts crying. Magna asks, "You really like this room, Asta?" And Asta happily replies, "Yes, I really like it. At the church, we all used to sleep together in rooms even smaller than this, but now I finally have my own room." And then Asta starts cleaning his new room. After that, both Asta and Yuno write letters to the church to tell everyone that they passed the exam. When Father reads Yuno's letter, he and everyone at the church become extremely happy. They start preparing a celebration party for Yuno, but then they open Asta's letter. Asta's handwriting is so terrible that nobody can even understand what he has written. Father looks at Sister Lily and says, "Can you see what he wrote? When is Asta coming back? Because there's no way he was able to pass." But when Sister Lily finally understands the letter, she says, "It says or he passed." Everyone in the church becomes completely shocked. They can't believe Asta actually passed the Magic Knight exam. Father, Sister Lily, and all the others become extremely happy. But Father also feels a little sad, because now Asta won't be coming back to live with them anymore. Meanwhile, the next morning, Asta wakes up happily. He wears his Black Bull's robe and gets ready. But the moment he walks out of his room, he crashes into a pillar. Magna comes there and asks, "Are you okay, kid?" Asta replies, "Yes, senpai, I'm fine. But this pillar wasn't here yesterday. How did it suddenly appear today?" Magna explains, "Oh, that's because our castle changes its shape by itself. yourself. Yesterday we were on the 2nd floor, and today we are on the 4th floor. You'll get used to it after some time. After that, Magna starts showing Asta the entire Black Bull's base. He shows him the kitchen, the bathroom, the girls' bedroom, which they are not allowed to enter, and also Yammy's pets, which are locked in the basement. Then Magna says, "Alright, Asta, until now, I was taking care of all these things, and I'm sorry to say this, but from today, you will be responsible for taking care of them. Take good care of them, because if anything happens to them, Captain Yami won't forgive you." Then Asta happily walks toward Yammy's pets to feed them, but these pets were not interested in eating the food. They wanted to eat Asta instead. Asta gets shocked and immediately runs away with them chasing him. Soon, both of them start running around the hall like they are having a race. But suddenly, the girl who was secretly watching Asta yesterday appears in front of them. And this girl is none other than Noelle. Yami had also recruited her into the Black Bulls along with Asta. Magna tells Asta, "Asta, she also joined the Black Bulls yesterday, just like you." Asta happily walks toward Noelle and extends his hand for a handshake, but Noelle doesn't shake his hand. Instead, she looks at him and says, "Who gave you permission to talk to me, you poor commoner?" Hearing this, Asta immediately gets angry. Then Noelle introduces herself. "I am Noelle Silva from the Royal Silva family." Noelle belongs to the Silva royal family, one of the strongest royal families in the Clover Kingdom. The Silva family is ranked 2nd among the royal families, only behind William's family. Asta angrily replies, "Who are you calling a commoner? You are not some royal here. You are also a member of the Black Bulls, just like me. And we are teammates?" This makes Noelle even more angry. She uses her magic and attacks Asta, but Noelle's aim is so terrible that her attack completely misses Asta and hits Magna instead. Magna gets up and says, "Why did you hit me? I wasn't even saying anything." Noelle replies, "I don't like you." Then Magna gets annoyed and says, "What did you say? Don't you know I'm your senior? If you want to stay in the Black Bulls, you need to learn how to respect your seniors." Hearing this, Noelle gets angry and says, "I never wanted to join this squad anyway." Then she throws her Black Bull's robe in front of them and walks away. After this, Asta is walking around in the garden next to the Black Bull's base, but suddenly, a water attack comes flying toward him. Asta gets shocked and thinks, "Where did that come from?" He moves a little further inside and sees Noelle is practicing, but no matter how much she trains, her aim never becomes perfect, and because of this, everyone in her royal family used to make fun of her. The reason was simple. Among all her brothers and sisters, Noelle was considered the weakest, and when she was born, her mother passed away. Because of that, her siblings hated her even more and blamed her for everything. Asta secretly watches Noelle practicing, but suddenly, Noelle notices him. The moment she sees Asta, she thinks that just like everyone else, Asta will also laugh at her. So she gets angry and starts attacking him with her magic, but Noelle still cannot control her magical power, and she accidentally gets trapped inside her own magic attack. Because Noelle belongs to the Royal Silva family, she has an enormous amount of magical power, and now she is trapped inside one of her own strongest attacks. Everyone comes outside and sees that Noelle is stuck in her own magic. Final says, "We have to do something quickly, or Noelle will be finished." But Yami says, "We can't do anything. If we use our magic on that attack, we will end up hurting Noelle too. And right now, only one person can do something." Final asks, "Who?" And at that exact moment, Asta gets thrown away by Noelle's magic attack and lands directly into Yami's hand. Yami says, "Perfect timing. I was looking for you. Now go up there and use your sword to destroy Noelle's magic." Asta says, "Yeah, that's fine. But how am I supposed to get up there?" Yami smiles and says, "Don't worry about that, kid." And then, Yami literally throws Asta toward Noelle. Asta reaches her and uses his anti-magic sword to cancel Noelle's magic. He successfully destroys the attack and saves her. Both Asta and Noelle start falling down, but before they hit the ground, Final uses his magic and saves both of them. Seeing this, Yami starts laughing loudly. He looks at Asta and says, "I really like you, kid." At that moment, Noelle finally wakes up. She thinks Asta will come near her and make fun of her, just like everyone else did. She thinks he will laugh at her because she cannot properly control her magic, but instead, Asta comes to her and starts praising her. He looks at her and says, "I can't believe how much magical power you actually have." off. If you learn how to control your magic properly, you will become extremely strong. Hearing this, everyone else also starts praising Noelle. They tell her, "Don't worry, we will all help you. We will help you learn how to control your powers." For the first time, Noelle feels truly happy because she realizes that she has finally found a family that treats her even better than her own. Then Asta once again extends his hand toward Noelle, but this time, Noelle accepts his hand and stands up. And somewhere in her heart, Noelle starts to feel that maybe Asta is not as bad as she thought. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yuno's senior Klaus is constantly troubling him. He is not treating Yuno nicely at all, and for some reason, Klaus hates Yuno a lot, but he has no idea what is waiting for him in the future, and we will see that in the next part. The next part is going to be even more exciting, so don't miss it. I'll upload the next part soon. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this episode. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.